Governor of the Sunshine State not relaxing today. He is responding. Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey, being called America's Karen, and it is sparking backlash from the DeSantis allies. Our correspondent Leonardo Feldman joins us live with more on the governor's response to this nickname. Leo.
That's right, Bianca. Well, what I can tell you is that never back down. The pro-Florida Governor Ron DeSantis super PAC struck back against MSNBC after their panel called the First Lady of Florida, Casey DeSantis, America's Karen. The tweet from the super PAC reads, "Why does the leftist media smear Casey DeSantis? Because they know her support for families in opposition to radical indoctrination resonates with parents of all political stripes." When DeSantis was asked about it, he said, quote, "My wife is an incredibly strong First Lady of Florida, a fantastic mother, and a great wife, and that threatens the left. So she and I kind of shrug it off because we know it just shows they view her as a threat." The name calling started with David Jolly, a former Republican congressman from Florida.
For many, she's the brighter side to Florida's angry governor. For others, she's become America's Karen. And I think that's the ultimate disconnect here with a campaign that needs to embrace more constituencies to get to the White House.
America's Karen, David Jolly.
Well, I called her this, Serena Waterford wannabe. Needs to cut it out. We see you. So there's all kinds of names for her. She needs to stop trying to measure the great drapes in the White House and think that she's some kind of Jackie O reincarnated.
And this comes after Florida's First Lady recently relaunched Mamas for DeSantis. The initiative started in Florida during the governor's re-election campaign in 2022. Now Casey has taken it nationwide as DeSantis seeks the Republican presidential nomination.
We are going to launch the largest mobilization of moms and grandmothers across the United States of America to protect the innocence of our children and to protect the rights of parents. And these policies of standing up for our families, standing up for moms and dads, and standing up in defense of the innocence of our children, it resonates across parties.
And DeSantis will be joined by his wife, Casey, later in the week in Iowa for several campaign events. Back to you.
Leonardo Feldman live in Florida, in Miami. Thanks, Leo. All right, let's talk about this and welcome in our panel now. Communications Director for the pro-DeSantis Never Back Down PAC, Erin, and also back with us, former Pennsylvania Senator and Newsmax contributor Rick Santorum. Hi, guys. Great to see you both.
You bet. Hey.
All right, first, I'm going to start with you, Erin. When this nickname came out, sort of started taking shape over on MSNBC, a lot of people came out to defend Casey DeSantis. Megyn Kelly, one of them. Here's her comments.
They hate her in a special way. It's almost coming at her more viciously than we saw with Melania, who didn't really say that much. They just hated her because she was Trump's wife. But Casey DeSantis hasn't said that much. She did appear in an ad, and maybe that's why they're really coming for her.
All right. And, it's not the first time they've gone after Casey. As you know, Erin, you were on a few weeks ago. And what do you think is behind all of this? And how do you think it will impact really where it matters? And that's the voters, and especially independent women who are looking at Casey DeSantis and looking at her husband as, possibly voting for him.
Well, I really appreciate Governor DeSantis's and the First Lady's approach to this, which is to shrug it off and keep moving on. The governor likes to say when they attack you, it means you're over the target. And that's what you see with Casey DeSantis and with the governor. They're pro-family. They're pro-children not being indoctrinated. And there is nothing that infuriates the left more than a parent standing up for their family and their children and their child's education. We saw it resonate in Virginia. You're seeing it resonate in Florida and across the country. When people are looking in 2024 about who they want to elect, who is going to be the strongest, they look at Governor DeSantis and they see a strong leader, not only for parents, but for families and for children. And he has an incredible ally and asset at his side with the First Lady, Casey DeSantis. She is brilliant, and she is an incredible advocate for him in a room. She talks about being a parent. She understands this. She also talks about her battle with cancer and what it's like to raise a family through that, and absolutely being pro-family and being with her husband. That infuriates the left more than anything. So that means they're right over the target when it comes to getting the message out there.
Rick, it does seem like, David Jolly got a soundbite here on MSNBC, but it's an odd sort of attack. But we see this also with conservatives. We see it with women who are also pro-life as well, don't we?
Yeah, you see it with women. I mean, the left is pro-women as long as you're a leftist woman. But if you're a conservative woman, that's actually worse than anything. I mean, it's almost as bad, I should say, as being a conservative black. You're allowed to say whatever you want as long as you don't say anything that contradicts the left. And Casey has been incredibly articulate. I mean, you saw the clips from her press conference talking about getting mamas to rise up and join the fight to protect your children. That resonates with everybody, and they hate that. They don't like conservative women speaking out, being strong, being defensive of their children. They want control of your kids. They want control of everything, and they want just people who line up with them. Not folks like Casey DeSantis.
Let's pivot to another story we're tracking today, and it is about a key witness in the GOP's investigation alleging corruption with the Biden family. He's been indicted by the Justice Department. His name is Gail Luft. This is a video of him. He's a citizen of the U.S. and Israel, but he recently resurfaced after being arrested in Cyprus. And he says basically he has allegations against President Biden. He brought him to the FBI in 2019, but interestingly now, New York prosecutors indicting him. It came out last night in a news update here. They're saying he paid former Trump advisors on behalf of principals in China, didn't register as a foreign agent, that he allegedly set up meetings between Iran and Chinese energy firm to discuss oil deals violating U.S. sanctions. But a lot of people are looking at this saying this is politically only, because if he had not come forward or not really said he was going to talk and give up some information on the Bidens, he would not be facing any of these charges. Senator Santorum, your read.
This is another breaking of an outrageous norm here. What we see, imagine if somebody came forward with an accusation 4 years ago against Donald Trump Jr. and that reported to the FBI, and the Trump administration indicted him. There'd be calls for impeachment right now of President Trump if he indicted someone going after, with information about his son's illegal activity. He didn't register as a foreign agent. Well, Hunter Biden didn't register as a foreign. That's a potential crime that Hunter Biden committed. Look, this is an administration that is breaking every norm possible. It's stunning. Almost daily, they do something that Joe Biden, who said, I'm going to return to normalcy, has done anything but that. They're acting like authoritarian leftists, suppressing dissent, indicting political enemies, trying to. You saw the case the other day where they were a judge, the Biden administration told to stop censoring by forcing companies like Facebook and Twitter from withholding information from the public and silencing people online. This is what authoritarian leftist regimes do in Cuba, in Venezuela, and now the United States.
Yeah, and the money he was paid from China pales in comparison to the money that Hunter Biden received. But got to leave that aside. Erin, we're going to have you back. We know DeSantis says if he's elected, he will fire Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, who's testifying in front of Congress tomorrow. So a lot to get to. We hope to see you back here real soon. Thanks for joining us today, Erin, Senator Santorum. Good to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.